All right. Well, I just want to thank you guys for being on tonight's call, our Dare to Be Diamond team call. We are super, super pumped and excited to be here with you guys tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Breanne Parks. I'm a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus. I've been with Plexus a little bit over 4.5 years now. And my co-host tonight, who's going to be helping me host and just sharing a little bit of her knowledge and her heart, is Emerald Ambassador Amanda Dickerson, sorry, Amanda. So I am super pumped and super excited to have her on the call with me. And we just want to share with you a little bit about our personal experience. Those of you who are on our team are kind of familiar with our Emerald Extravaganza trip. And that trip is really designed and set up that you have to earn it each year, and it's for Emerald Ambassadors and above. So we just wanted to share some of our highlights and our takeaways and some of our notes and a little bit about some things that you can apply to your own businesses. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and let you start us off and share a little bit of what you experienced, what your highlights were, what the overall feel was, the culture, all of that, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, so this was my very first Emerald Extravaganza, and I've been counting down the days because I went Emerald in August, so I had to wait a whole year to get to come. And so I had a blast there. I am not one that travels a lot. That's new to me. So Plexus is allowing me to do all of that. And just to be able to go on a trip like this with my husband for the first time ever was awesome. Everything about it was so special. From, walking to the pool and being stopped by other jewels who you've only met through Facebook, and being able to pick the brains of the top leaders in this company, sitting oceanside. Everybody is so kind and genuine. There isn't a stranger on the whole resort during Emerald Extravaganza. It is friends, and it feels like family. I was really, really impressed with how above and beyond Plexus goes to really show us how much they truly value us as ambassadors and leaders in the company. I mean, you guys, every little thing had special detail. You get a gift in your room each night when you're out and about. There's a camera guy following you around, taking your pictures and trying to capture every moment of this fun, life-changing trip. One of my most favorite things that I got to experience was in one of the meetings we had Carrie Wilkerson, the barefoot executive. I don't know if you guys follow her on Facebook, but you should. I've followed her for a really long time and was so excited to see that she was there. I was surprised. I didn't think that they had told us she was going to be there, but I took a ton of notes. And Breanne, do you want me to share a few things that really caught my attention during that?
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay, I didn't want to take over because I have two. Well, you were sitting next to me. I have 2 or 3 pages. But so don't mind me if I'm reading from my notes. But I just shared with my team last night, and we're all really excited about the takeaways. So one thing that she talked about that really inspired me was finding a cause that stirs your soul, something that you care so deeply about that it could make you cry. Find something that matters far beyond you so that you can take action and change the world with those things. So it could be adoption. It could be volunteering at your church. It could be children, or an organization that really touches your heart because of a past experience or whatever. And she talked about how everything is so much bigger than just Plexus. Even though Plexus is huge and special and amazing, we are so much more than that. And it's super important for us to show people that we are creating the culture. We're giving Plexus the face that everybody's going to see and think about when they think about Plexus. And so that was really huge for me. And she made a statement that said, no matter what you're doing, you know, as moms or wives or dads, we wear many hats, right? We chauffeur kids, we are maids, we are chefs, whatever. But we also like to go out in the public and volunteer, maybe donate blood or volunteer at the school or whatever. And so one thing that she said that really stuck with me and I loved was that no matter what you're doing, you're a Plexus ambassador doing that. So that was really huge for me to hear. And it reminded me of how we present ourselves on Facebook and out in public. You always want to be aware that you are viewed as a Plexus ambassador. So you're donating blood, you're a Plexus ambassador donating blood, you know, things like that. And I thought that was really a big deal that she said that, because I had never, you know, although we're cautious about what we share and post, I never had thought of it that way. So I love that. And she talked about loving on people throughout this journey. So many different people will come in your path and you'll meet new people. And sometimes you'll lose touch with other people that you're maybe not around so much. And so for me, that has happened throughout my journey because I get busy with Plexus. I love Plexus, and it is not only my career, but it's my fun time too. So it's easy to lose track of friends who aren't involved in Plexus or who maybe aren't taking the products or things like that, because you get so excited about your Plexus business that sometimes you put all of your energy and focus on that. And so she talked about loving people where they're at, love on people, and allow other people to love on you. So love your friends even if they're not interested in joining your team. Love your neighbor, even if they're not interested in buying your products. So I loved that. And when you're out loving on people, they're going to see what you're able to do because of Plexus. So it will really be a true picture of the bigger things that we're doing with Plexus as ambassadors. So I thought that was really cool. She said, make more, live more, give more. And so that's going back with all of the other stuff that I talked about above. And one more thing, because I don't want to take up all the time. One more thing that I loved was build like a business. A hobby costs you money. Business makes you money. And you can do this with part-time hours with an executive mindset. So I loved that because I treat, you know, this like a business, a career, and I think it's really important to, if that is what your goal is with Plexus. So I loved that she said you could work it part-time with executive mindset. And I think that, I mean, I have 500 other things on here, but I'll let you chat a little bit, and then if I think of something, I'll
chime in.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, she was simply amazing. Just like Amanda said, I mean, talk about just blown out of the water with just every little perspective that she presented to us, and really just a self-reflection. She gave us a lot of love, but it was tough love and things that we all really needed to hear along our journey. And really regardless of where you're at in your journey, it's definitely things that you can apply to your business. So I love what she said about creating the executive mindset too. And just, she made you think more. So, you know, with this business, why do you want to make, you know, more money? What do you want to do with that money? What do you want to influence and impact and become? And so it was a lot of just, like I said, just self-reflection. But one thing that really hit a point with me is she talked about giving yourself margin. And what she meant by that was, we all know like the margin of like the notebook paper, right? Which is like the white space that you hardly ever write unless you're one of those rule breakers and you stay within the lines. Well, she talks about giving yourself more margin in your life, meaning having time freedoms to do what you want to do, whether it's a hobby, whether it's, you know, reading a book, maybe that's something that you enjoy, whether it's just being quiet and at peace, going to the gym, whatever that is, giving yourself margin. And she also spoke about that, not only with our business and applying that to our business, but she said, the more margin that you give yourself and the more free time and downtime that you give, the happier your team is going to be, because you're bringing that back. Just like, I think we've talked about this a little bit on our leaders calls, but as a mom, sometimes you have to step away and just give yourself that breathing room, and you come back rejuvenated and refreshed and ready to love on those babies. And it's the same thing with your business. You need that space. But she also talked about, applying that to your children and making sure that your kids are okay with quiet time. And we live in such a society that's a go, go, go society that sometimes we have to schedule that margin time. So just a lot of ways to apply that. And it kind of, for me, I haven't put it on my calendar yet, but I definitely plan on putting margin time and marking out just an hour of free time to do what I want to do. I think we kind of do it in reverse, right? We put down every appointment that we have to stick with and every obligation that we have, instead of marking out and putting an hour for yourself. So I love what she mentioned about that. And she talked about, and I'm just kind of referring to my notes a little bit because I don't want to forget anything that I think would be really impactful for you guys. But she talked about creating memories with your kids. And, you can't buy memories, but your money can fund them. So if you work hard now and you really make that a point in your life, you can enjoy memories with your children that you potentially wouldn't be able to enjoy. So just so much. She also said that one thing that I just really resonated with me is that your family members are your shareholders. So be present with them. Make sure that, you're spending time. Sit down with your spouse and discuss, what does success look like for us? What does it look like? Does it look like, paying bills off and having the financial freedom to travel? Does it look like spending more quality time, or just maybe even being home as a stay-at-home mom? What does that look like for you? And really start designing your own life. Don't allow someone else to design it for you. I love that. Love that. Because I think it really puts things in perspective, right? The memories that we have with our family, those are times that we can't get back. Those are cherished memories. So to remember that they are our shareholders of our business, and we have to just really be present with them. Let's see. You talked, Amanda, a little bit about her talking about loving on people. And she said, make it a point to love on people. There's so many people out there that struggle and are hurting and just need that genuine acceptance from others and just love. And I know she mentioned an example of this that she mentioned, and I might be quoting it incorrectly, but she talked about her father and how he was a pastor, and he would tell her as a young girl, your message means nothing if you're talking to somebody who has an empty stomach. And so, it's important to fulfill people's soul before you expect anything out of them. The more that they know that you care and the more that you're loving on them, the more those opportunities will come. So that's one other thing that she mentioned. Let me see here. Oh, one good one was legacy. What is the legacy that you're leaving behind? Your legacy is bigger than yourself, and your legacy is going to last a lot longer than the life that you're currently living. So what is it that you're leaving behind? Because really that's what people are going to remember from you, right? When we talk about legacy, that's also referring to our children. Are we teaching our children to be servants of others? Are we giving them opportunities to just help people? So it really made me evaluate some things. And let me think. Oh, this is another good one. Where is your business out of alignment? Right? That I love that. She talked about, where is your business out of alignment? Where are you out of alignment with your health, with your wellness, with your happiness? If you are out of alignment in any of those areas, guess what? It's going to affect your business. If you are not happy and you are struggling with, negative thoughts and feelings, how can you possibly sell the opportunity of happiness? So sometimes that takes a little bit more commitment. Sometimes even with our health, it takes a little bit more commitment. It means that we have to be accountable and track where we're at. And are we, displaying positive thoughts daily if we know that that's something that might be holding us back? Are we trying to lead a healthy lifestyle if we know that that's where we're struggling? So just a lot of self-reflection. One of the other things that she kind of mentioned too is the acronym BRAD. And so Anita and I are going to share with you, and I am loving BRAD right now. And I'm sure my husband's like, who is this BRAD? She came back loving on this BRAD. But I'm telling you, when you apply these concepts and to your business and to your life, it just makes sense. So what the first letter stands for, and you can really either, for those of you who are taking notes, you can write it horizontal or vertical down your page, but BRAD stands for boundaries. And what we mean by that is people, places, and promises. So she said when it comes to boundaries, to be firm and educate people, because obviously people are not mind readers. They don't know what our boundaries are unless we're educating them on what our expectations are. She said that we don't have the right to get mad at them if they don't understand what those boundaries are. So it's really important that we teach people how to treat us, right? And what those boundaries mean. I'm sure some of you guys have heard that, the closest 5 people to you play a huge influence in the role of the type of person that you currently are or have become. And she asked us to take those 5 close people and write their names down on a piece of paper. And beside their names, either put a plus mark next to it, meaning they add value to our lives, they're a positive person, or put a negative mark next to them, meaning, sometimes you just feel exhausted walking away from the conversation, and it's always a negative conversation. Obviously, our spouses are a wild card. We can't really get rid of them, right? But the other 5 people that we are circled around, we have choices. And we have choices what their influence plays on us, our business, and our lives. And so with that being said, she did say that you cannot convert a negative into a positive. So just throw in the towel on that one. Don't try to put effort there. But what you might want to do is start spending more time with those positive people who are influencing you in a positive direction, and less time with the ones who are influencing you in a negative direction. We can love them from afar without being, on the phone with them every day, right? So one thing that I truly loved, and I think that, her overall feeling for me was take power back, take control of your life back, take, control of your business back. Who is influencing you? Who is developing this? You are, right? So it's important that we think of those things. She also said that when it comes to, let me think, I'm just going to skim over. Places. She talked about devices, things like places like your office, for example. If you have a business office and your toddlers are rolling around in there, coloring on everything, and on your computer, those type of things, set boundaries. And I'll be the first one to raise my hand, y'all. If y'all could see my office right now, I have little pictures drawn everywhere because for whatever reason, kiddos like to be in your space, right? But it's important that you draw those boundary lines. If you have a computer that you mainly do business on, it's important not to have conflicting hours with your son who's in there playing Minecraft, right? Because it prevents you from getting done your responsibilities. She also talked about cell phones, and do your kids really understand that your phone is a business tool? Have you taught them that? Or are you handing over your phone to allow them to play, a game or something of that nature, just to kill some time? So those are definitely some things I think I'm going to apply to my life and my schedule and just change up a little bit. What about you, Amanda? Any of those? Any thought on that?
Yeah, I've actually already started implementing those. So, for me, I have a really large team. And so I started to set certain days for certain tasks. So coaching calls will be on this day, leaders calls on this day. And I'm in the process of setting up business hours because my shareholders need a little more time with me. And I'm realizing that. So that was really big for me. I mean, that as soon as she started talking about the boundaries, I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
One thing that she said was to practice a conversation in your head.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times when we work from home, others might assume that we're not busy all day. And so they might need you for carpool or running errands or things like that when you really should be spending that time working. And then it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I really appreciate and I'm thankful that you thought of me, but, I have to check my schedule and get back with you, or, it's really not going to work out for me today because I have this, and this to do. So I'm a yes person. And so that was really big for me. It was a great way for me to start preparing, that it's okay to say no because you have to be in control.
Right. Yeah, because we're CEOs, right? We're CEOs of our business. So if we're not in control, who's going to be in control of this business if we're not? So I agree with you. I love the little, just the little quotes that she gave us. And, there's ways that you can politely turn someone down and just say, I really would have liked to have helped out with that carpool today, but unfortunately, this is the day where I have a really big project going on. And so let me see if I can help find someone to help accommodate that. There's ways that we can say things that we can help, but not necessarily give our schedule away, right? I love when she talked about, too, the phone calls. Answering phone calls during business hours that probably are not business related. Oh my goodness. Because all of us women do that. I mean, I could so relate to that when she said, how many times have you called a friend and said, what are you doing? And the first thing they say is nothing. I mean, that's the door wide open to let's have an hour conversation, right? So she said, if it's not business, don't answer it. Or, if a text comes through, it's okay to respond and say, I have a project going on right now. I'm trying to finish up on this. What's going on? What's up? So that they can get directly to the point of telling you what their need is versus, hanging out on the phone during times that you really need to be working your business. She said that to write down 3 areas of where you need to set boundaries. So what are 3 areas that you can apply boundaries? Don't go haywire and try to apply, 20 boundaries in one day. You might drive your spouse and your kids, everybody else crazy. But just take baby steps and start with 3. What are 3 areas that you can apply boundaries to? The other thing she talked about too with that and promises is just because you're the best person for the job doesn't mean that you have to do it. Sometimes it's good to step away and allow someone else to fill that place and fill those need, and maybe even give them an opportunity to shine. So just because we're the best at that particular job doesn't necessarily mean that we have to take on that responsibility. The R in Brad actually stands for routines and rituals. And she said, just keep a very simple routine for yourself. Simplify your life. So, for example, if you're not getting up and if you're, falling into the momitis of a work at home mom and you're putting those yoga pants on every day and getting the kids off to school and you're still kind of in those yoga pants or PJs, stop that. You are the CEO, which means we need to be up. We need to be dressed. You need to have your hair brushed, your teeth brushed. You don't need surprise visits from team members who show up and you're still in your pajamas. So she said, create a system that's simple for you. She was just sharing a little bit about what she does. And she said, I have like 5 sets of jeggings and 5 shirts. And I know exactly what I wear for those 5 days. So I get up and I put something comfortable on, but yet something that is, flexible enough that if I have to run out of the house, I'm already prepared, already dressed and ready. If I have, the UPS guy showing up at my door, I'm not looking like Walking Dead, right? So it's important that we really take control of that and we make it a point to get dressed each day. She said, let me see. Oh, pre-made decisions in life are a lot easier. And of course, most of us are women on this call. We understand how much that helps, but just simple things, even like dinner. If you don't have dinner planned by 9 o'clock that morning, maybe you need to go to plan B. But whatever that is, make sure that you have things going. The other thing that she mentioned was setting up a power hour for your business. And with that power hour means that you are not doing any activities that are incoming. So things like checking Facebook messages, emails, messages, text messages from your team members, any of that. You are not responding to anything incoming. You are strictly reaching out. You are doing outgoing activities. Maybe it's checking in with a friend. Maybe it's just loving on somebody. Maybe it's encouraging someone. Maybe it's following up on your own leads. That's the other thing that she said is our leads come before our leaders. Our leaders can wait. We need to follow up on our leads. That is our business. That is our foundation. So setting up 1 hour, 1 power hour, and imagine how much that can transform your business, even if it's 3 days a week, even if it's 3 days that you can set aside time for that power hour. That is definitely something that I plan on incorporating more into my business. And that power hour can be anything. It can be, filling up your own vessel, your own cup. Maybe it's a little bit of devotional. Maybe it's a little bit of self-development. Whatever that is for you, you need to be doing activities that are outgoing and not responding to income activities. So let me think. Any input there, Amanda? Anything that kind of touched at you there?
She said that your routines and rituals should be personal, bearable, memorable, replicable, and non-negotiable. So I liked that. Like you said, don't change up everything in your whole life, but just find a few things that you can change to get you on the right path. So for example, something she said that I'm going to start doing is getting up on my own in the morning, getting ready, getting dressed before I wake the kids up for school. Because then you can follow through with your routine with your kiddos and you're already ready for the day. So you're not stressed, you're not rushing around, you're not panicked, and then you're ready to get started working, right when they get off to school or whatever. So I liked that.
Yeah, I agree. So Amanda's going to share a little bit with you about what the acronyms, the A and the D stand for, and Brad.
Okay. I'm loving Brad too. A stands for accountability. So in order to be successful and to be the CEO of your business, you need to have accountability. And that can look a couple of different ways for you. You can have an accountability partner. You can keep a schedule, with your power hour. and how you're going to act out each thing that you want to do every day. But she said reporting, responsibility. So when you have, well, I'll talk about recording first. So that would be, recording what's going on in your business. How many people do you reach out to and get a no before you get a yes? So that you know what that pattern looks like. Are you reaching out to, 20 people and they say no before you get a yes? That kind of gives you an idea of how many people you have to reach out to, right? To get that next teammate or that next customer. So unless you're recording that stuff, you really can lose track of where your business is growing, where it might not be growing, and what you could be doing consistently to help expand your business and become the best leader that you can be. Reporting, with reporting, I took that as like reporting your accountability. Breanne, you can correct me if you have different notes for that, but I kind of wrote things down how I understood them for myself. But reporting to, say Breanne is my power partner, and I say, this is what I want you to hold me accountable for. This is what I'm holding myself accountable for this month. And this is what, I've done so far. You can also use it as, I want to grow my team by 20 people this month. What do you have to do that? How many did you add last month? How many more do you have to add this month in order to reach that goal? So kind of running your reports, looking at your team, checking out your business, keeping track of your business. And responsibility would also be actually taking action to business building activities. Are you doing business building activities, or are you answering that phone call from that friend who, wants you to get her kiddos from school because you're at home in your yoga pants? So take responsibility for your business and for yourself. Keep track of, like I said, keep track of your no's, keep track of your yeses, keep track of your customers and your teammates. I like to keep notes, every time I follow up with a customer, to hold myself accountable and to make sure I'm recording and reporting and I'm responsible. But I like to keep notes. This time I talked to Susie, and this is what she said. She's loving the probiotic. She's not ready to try the X Factor yet. Things like that, so that you know what's going on in your business. Did I miss anything with A?
No, I think she said too with recording that when we're running our business, be financially responsible too.
Yes.
That's I think one of the other things that she mentioned, but you covered everything.
Okay. I know I kind of can go all over the place when I get excited. So D stands for deadlines. So if you have goals, you have to set deadlines if you want to reach those goals. So more than likely, if you're not setting deadlines for your goals, you're probably not going to achieve them. So you just won't get it done because I want to go gold. But when do you want to go gold? And what actions are you going to take to get there? And, what is that looking like for you? She talked about, for D, define, divide, declare, and discipline. So like I said, what does that goal look like for you? Define it. Where do you want to be a month from now? Or, you want to go senior gold. When do you want to go there? And what does that look like for you? Are you taking the actions that you need to take to get there? Or, do you have to implement a couple more power hours to be able to achieve that and be able to adjust your goals to, what's attainable? That doesn't mean not to step outside of your comfort zone, but to set achievable, attainable goals and deadlines so that you can celebrate those successes. And she said to declare those goals with a safe place. You know, if you're not comfortable declaring that to your whole team or your Facebook friends and family, go to your upline and declare that so that they can help hold you accountable and encourage you and, you know, make sure you're still plugged in, see how they can help you reach that goal. And one thing that she really said that I loved was discipline. Discipline is so important, and with discipline comes freedom. So, you know, like Breanne was talking earlier about memories and how you might be doing this business so that you're able to make more memories. And if you have more finances, like Carrie had said in the beginning, then you're able to fund more memories. And so if you're disciplined now, you know, if you sacrifice some things now, it will open up so much more freedom for you later. And, you know, like for myself, I'm going to have to keep myself disciplined with boundaries because, like I said before, I love helping. I like to say yes to people, but sometimes I shouldn't be. I should be, you know, in my quiet place reading personal development, or I should be on a coaching call at that time. And so having discipline is really important so that you don't get sidetracked, so that when you set that date for that goal, you define what that goal is for you, you declare it, and now you're going to keep yourself disciplined so that you can achieve it and celebrate it later. She said to define the deadline and be specific. So you don't want to say, well, I want to be Emerald next year. You want to define what that looks like for you. Do you want to be Emerald by July 31st to go to Maui? You know, or do you want to be Emerald 3 months from now? Give yourself those goals and write those down. I always tell my team that it's really important to write your goals down. Even if you share it with all of them and you share it with your upline and maybe your spouse, write that goal down for yourself and always revisit it, because that will help keep you motivated and keep you on target to hit that goal. Your goals don't have to be rank advancements either. It could be, I want to gain 3 new customers this month. You know, and how are you going to do that? How many people do you have to reach out to reach that goal? You know what I mean? So let's see. It could be, I want to have a team of 50 people, you know, by June. And then you can set that goal for yourself. So you have to figure out what has to be done weekly or daily, weekly, and monthly. You know, for me, I even have to go as far as hourly sometimes so that I know that I block out those specific tasks that I need to do to stay on target and to reach my goals. Breanne, do you have anything to add with that?
Not really. She did tell us, and just before I forget to, about routines when I talked about that earlier, she said develop 3 new routines. But she said also to create, like Amanda said, at least 2 measurable goals.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do we go from here? How many of you guys want to be in Maui next year? And I think that's really where we're at. Yeah, show of hands.
Hold your hands up.
All of us, right?
I'm on my phone, so I have to scroll through. It looks like everybody.
So, you know, at this point, it really just comes down to planning, preparing, tracking, and holding yourself accountable, committing, right? I want to encourage you guys, if you have not had a chance, reach out to your upline, come up with a plan of action, figure out a power partner, figure out a Maui mate that can help you and can encourage you along the journey to get there. Figure out what those measurable goals are. Figure out when you're going to do your power hours, what your scheduling is going to look like. Like I said before, at the end of the day, we are the CEO of our business. I just jotted down a couple little notes here. Oh, that I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, so a question was proposed to a lot of the Jules who had been there. This is actually their first year in Maui. And I wanted to give you guys and share with y'all some statistics from this question. The question that was posed was, where were you last year during this time? What was your rank? So I want to read these off to you and kind of share with you what the statistics were. There was 4 silvers, 10 golds, 13 senior rubies, 5 rubies, and 42 senior rubies. You guys, what does that tell us? That tells us that if you put blinders on and you have a goal of accomplishing this, it can be done, right? We had silvers who were there. Silvers, so inspiring and so doable. So I just want you guys to dig your line in the sand, dig it deep, picture yourself there, give yourself some measurable goals, put together an IPA chat, look up to your upline and say, I need you to hold me accountable. Whatever that looks like for you, develop a plan. This was an amazing experience. This was actually my 4th time, but every single time it's amazing. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I probably would have never even gone to Hawaii if it wasn't for this amazing opportunity that Plexus gives us. It is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. And we all have the potential to be there next year. We all can make this happen. We just got to dig deep. We got to let go of the insecurities, take our power back in our business, and put one foot in front of the other and make it happen. Amanda, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was seeing Ruby at the time last year, but I had friends there that were silver, gold last year at the time of the Emerald Extravaganza. And because I'm a numbers person and have a really red personality, I want to share something today that I discovered. No matter what your rank, whether you just joined or you're a senior Ruby, let's just pretend you have 0 points right now, right? 0 paid points. If you add 30 new teammates to your team in your level 1 through 3s, each month, starting in October to July, you're Emerald. 30 people each month. It doesn't seem so hard now, does it? When you break it down to that smaller goal, you're like, wow, I can do this. So I just encourage you to not assume that you can't make it. Push really hard because it is so worth it.
It is so worth it.
So worth it.
And just what Amanda said, I mean, the culture there was just unbelievable. I'm sure you guys saw pictures, and I shared this on our leaders call, but, you know, we always talk about that one Plexus culture and helping others. And it was so apparent and so present and so contagious there. We had, I think, Rob Heffley set up an amazing little competition there for another Jewel who had just been diagnosed with cancer, Brent. And so they had this great competition where everybody just rallied around and supported him and just loved on the cause. We had, what else? We had the prayer circle that was there where, you know, people just gathered around and prayed for each other and hugged and just loved on each other and laid their hands on one another and prayed over their businesses and over them physically. And we have something, this culture in Plexus is so incredibly special. And I want all of you guys there. And if I can help you, if Amanda can help you, whatever we can do, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. Reach out to your upline. You have amazing leaders. But do whatever it takes to get there because it is incredibly worth it. Incredibly.
Totally worth it. You're talking to a girl that almost backed out of her first convention because I was scared to death of flying. For real. And I flew 12 hours to Hawaii with no worries at all. So overcome your fears. I'm not saying you're afraid of flying, but there's something out there you might be afraid of that's holding you back. You live one life. Go after it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amanda, so much for just opening your heart up tonight and sharing. And just, I'm so glad that I got to experience that with you. And I can't wait to see so many other faces there next year. We have Leaders Retreat just around the corner. So those of you who are attending, a little birdie whispered in my ear that Carrie Wilkerson should be at Leaders Retreat. So look forward to hearing from her. Bring a notepad. We learned that.
Yes.
And make sure you have that handy because, I mean, she is dynamite. Start following her on Facebook. Look up some videos. Get inspired. Get encouraged. And we just love you guys. And we will have our Dare to be Diamond call next week, next Tuesday, 8:30. So join us for that. And I hope you guys have an amazing night. Bye, everybody, or mahalo.
Mahalo. Love you guys.
Bye, guys.